kept hearing from mostly members of our athletic departments is that students were coming to them with this rising issue of getting harassed, especially about betting behavior. But the athletic departments didn't really have anything to do for them or give them. They were essentially telling their athletes to kind of suck it up and deal, that it's part of the sports culture now. So they were coming to us and asking us for help. And so we wanted to launch More Than a Bet as a way to really humanize the athlete behind the bet and to give them a platform with which to speak out, and one that allows them to highlight the issue and to talk about some of the things that they're hearing, while still focusing on the fact that, yeah, they're an athlete, but they're a lot more than that.
Let me ask you this. For the audience that may not understand the problem, give us an example. How are these athletes being harassed?
Yeah, we've heard a lot of reports of athletes, especially in college and the collegiate athletes, getting things like Venmo requests from some of their peers if they say miss a catch or miss a shot that a peer might have had a bet on. They'll get Venmo requests from random people that says, you now owe me, $300 because you cost me this bet. We've heard things from athletes that are pretty serious. We hear a lot from people that say, well, athletes are used to bullying, or they're used to being told that they should have performed better and this and that. But some of the things that we're hearing are rising above that to the level of really focusing on personal character qualities and saying, you threw this bet, so you're going to get what's coming to you. Whether that's cancer or a death in your family, like you'll get what's yours. And when you start to hear those things, it's really important to focus on, this isn't just an athletic performance, and this isn't just a bet. Money tends to rise the stakes for people, right? It's one of the things that makes sports betting exciting. But what it also does is it's somehow created this culture that all we're seeing is the bet, and we're not seeing the person behind it, and realizing that these kids aren't prepared for this level of scrutiny and this level of harassment that they're receiving.
Well, not to mention the fact that it distracts them from concentrating on the game and the sport, whatever that game or sport might be. So let's talk a little bit about prop bets, because Ohio was one of the first states to remove prop bets from the books. And, of course, unless you're in that gambling world, you don't even know what a prop bet is. Tell us a little bit about prop bets and why that move on the state's part was so important.
Yeah, prop bets are essentially bets inside of the game, and they can be done on whole teams or individual athletes. So say an athlete is up for a free throw. You can make a micro bet on that action within a game. So it's in-game betting. For some people, it does make the game more exciting. They can bet on every single play or touchdown or free throw that comes up. However, it does really focus on the individual athletes themselves. Ohio was certainly, while we were one of the first to actually remove prop betting, there are lots of states that from the get-go and onset of sports betting decided that on the collegiate athletes, they didn't want to make prop betting available, whether that's wholesale or within their own state teams. So Ohio got a request from the NCAA to cut back on individual prop bets. So bets that could be placed on individual athlete performance within a game and focusing on that individual. And the commission decided to honor that request, and we've removed individual college athlete prop bets from being legal here in Ohio. And part of that effort is to really to cut back on the amount of individual focus on the college athlete and the harassment that they're receiving around those kinds of actions and bets. But it also helps protect the athlete from an integrity standpoint. So it leaves less room for athletes to kind of be coerced or bullied into maybe throwing a free throw or not performing in the way that they should. So there were lots of things that led to that ban, but certainly harassment and integrity played an integral role in that decision.
Not everybody is on the same page when it comes to sports betting and gambling in general. We know that gambling in terms of sports betting was legalized in 2023, but if you are an individual who is enjoying that activity, how do you know when it becomes a problem?
Absolutely. There's a large portion of the population that can do so and do so safely, can bet safely. But when it starts to become a problem, a lot of the things that we'll hear is that it just consumes your thoughts and your behavior. Rather than setting a budget, you're spending a lot more than you should be, and you're starting to realize that you can't maybe pay a bill that you should be paying, or for a lot of individuals, especially loved ones, we call it the hidden addiction because it is somewhat easy to hide sports betting or any kind of problem betting behavior from loved ones. A lot of people don't realize it's become a problem until their loved one is much more financially underwater than they want to be.
We want to thank Amanda Blackford with Ohio Casino Control Commission for being with us today. It's the More Than a Bet campaign, and there's a lot to learn about it. So I'm going to give you guys a website. It's morethanabet.org, and you can get all the information on the program there and also find out how you can participate. But if you or a loved one needs help, please call the Ohio Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-589-9966. I'm Jay Fox. We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine after this on the Ohio News Network.
Start Reaction Monday off in style with Bobby and Beam on Morning Juice. They're talking Buckeyes at 6:20, 7:20, and 8:20, and probably all the other minutes in between.
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan.
Excuse me, waiter. There's a hair in my soup. A long purple hair.
I'm so sorry. I'll get the manager.
I'm the manager. How can I help?
Wait, weren't you the Plum Insurance mascot?
What gave it away? My long purple fur?
Something like that.
What if all insurance companies were like NJM and were known for putting their policyholders first, not gimmicks? Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs.
I'll pass on dessert.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Pop quiz. What's the best way to go back to school? With Giant Eagle and Market District, of course. From lunchbox favorites to fun after-school snacks, shop deals for school days and save on thousands of items throughout the store. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today.
For 32 years, Newman Roofing has been your local family-owned roofing expert, delivering a white-glove customer experience on every project. Our commitment to quality means every little detail matters. If you need a repair or replacement, call Newman Roofing at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time. Except for two things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? Truehold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
If you're starting your day any other way, you're doing it wrong. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Welcome back to Ohio Sports Magazine. I'm Jay Fox, and as we continue our overview of all the fall high school sports, we're going to turn our attention now to girls field hockey this week. Emily Mason joins us from the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Emily, always glad to have you. Field hockey in the United States is now over 100 years old. It's a popular sport for girls at schools all over the state. How many schools have field hockey teams?
Yes, so thank you for having me. So for the sport of field hockey, it's definitely our smallest sport at the OHSAA. There are 817 high schools across the state, and we only have 43 schools with the sport of field hockey.
Now, what is the equipment that's used in the game?
So the main equipment is just a stick. So it's kind of similar. I think a lot more people are probably familiar with like a hockey stick. However, the end of the stick, it's not as long, and it's just kind of a little hook. So it's a stick, and since it's played on a field, they use a ball as well. As far as kind of protective equipment goes, field hockey players are permitted to wear eyewear or kind of like a goggle face mask, if you will, and then obviously the goalkeeper is in all kinds of protective gear. But for the main pieces of the game, it's really just the athlete, a stick, and a ball.
So I remember growing up in private school world in Cleveland, Ohio, watching girls from Hawken and Laurel and Hathaway Brown wear their plaid skirts to play field hockey. Is that still the dress code, or are we now wearing shorts?
Yep, they're still in skirts. So when it, especially those northeastern schools, and, once we hear in about a month, they might start wearing, leggings and long sleeve shirts under their uniforms. But yes, the field hockey uniform is still pretty much a tank top and a skirt. And, I'm even thinking forward to the state field hockey tournament, which is the first weekend in November, and they're still in those skirts and tank tops. So, they run up and down the field for quite a long time. So I think they warm up. But yes, it's still a skirt.
How many players are on the team?
So in field hockey, it's a total of 11 players. So it's 10 field players and 1 goalkeeper. So there are attackers, which are kind of the main goal scorers. They also include the wings, inside forwards, and a striker. We also have midfielders. So they're, kind of a versatile player and contribute to both offense and defense. There's also defenders who, as you can imagine, are primarily responsible for defense. And then you do have your goalkeeper as your 11th player.
Is it true, Emily, that the field is the same length as a football field, 100 yards?
Yes, it is. So it's kind of even similar to soccer as well. So, yeah, even though there are kind of those main position components, throughout the game, players often do move throughout the position as the game progresses. So, yeah, they cover a lot of the field.
Yeah, and I would think with that amount of territory, there's as much, if not more, running involved than in the game of soccer.
Yes, exactly. Yep, they're up and down the field. And, it's kind of different if you think about it. They're also carrying that stick, and so it's a really neat sport.
All right, you're going to have to explain something to me because I don't know what it means. The striking circle count, what is that?
So the striking circle count, now I do have to admit here that we have a rules interpreter for all of our sports, and so they are kind of, I deem them as our experts in the NFHS playing rules.
So I shouldn't feel bad for not knowing what it is?
Yeah, and hopefully I don't feel bad either because, anytime I get an NFHS playing rule question, I send it right to him. But basically there's just, it's kind of deals with penalty corners and certain areas of the field. Just throughout the game, it is a pretty unique sport in that kind of piece of it. So, between penalty corners, there's, as you mentioned, a specific circle that at some point in the game, if you get within that circle, there's a lot more rules of striking the ball and that kind of thing. So,
isn't it kind of like being in the paint in basketball?
Yes. I like that analogy. That's a great analogy.
All right. So explain to me why you can only use one side of the mallet, the flat side.
I don't really know. I've never been asked that question. And I actually sat yesterday. We had the NFHS field hockey midseason webinar, and I've been with the OHSA for 10 years. And to be honest, I've never had that question, and I've never really had that discussion. It's one of those things of that's the rule, and people stick to it.
It is the rule, but in regular hockey, you can use both sides of the stick.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never thought about that.
Okay, leave it to Jay Fox to start something, right? Yeah, great. I can't wait for my boss to call me upstairs for that discussion. Which schools are among the elite in the state this year? Who looks good?
So it's pretty fun this year. So as I mentioned earlier, we do only have 43 schools. And as you mentioned, you're from the Northeast area. And so that area is big in field hockey. So kind of the main areas are the central part of the state, the southwest part of the state, and then the northeast. But looking at the Max Preps rankings, it's pretty much heavy central Ohio. So we do have one undefeated team, that's Upper Arlington. And then followed there, we do have Thomas Worthington and Columbus Academy. Those two teams, we see Thomas Worthington in the state tournament just about every single year. Columbus Academy is the same almost every year. And then, so Upper Arlington, that's pretty new, and that's exciting. And then it's New Albany, Olentangy, Worthington, Kilbourne, and Bishop Watterson. So
that's a lot of Columbus.
A lot of Columbus.
I have heard, and this is an unconfirmed report, that there are now or will be in the future boys field hockey teams. Yes or no?
So it hasn't come up in the state of Ohio. And, typically that kind of conversation would actually come up on the NFHS midseason webinar because the NFHS is the National Federation of High School Sports. So all field hockey and rules interpreters attend that meeting. So it's a great time to kind of bring up any discussion items. What are we seeing? What are we hearing about They haven't really mentioned that from the national high school perspective. The thing I see most about when I get questions about boys field hockey is it's huge internationally.
Right.
The sport of field hockey with boys is a huge international sport. So where I get the questions more about it is not really current Ohio residents. We get questions of, do you guys have boys field hockey when we have international exchange students coming to live in Ohio for a bit?
And that's a valid point.
And so I think the tough part a little bit about, would we see more boys field hockey in high school sports is just the issue of Title IX. And, when you have the fall sport of football as a boys sport, there's kind of your boys sport. Field hockey is kind of your girls sport. So, it hasn't come up as too much of a hot topic, at least amongst the state associations. But yeah, it is, like I said, a huge international sport. So I think the more and more we're all paying the international sports as we do with, the things like Olympics and that kind of thing, I think it definitely will become more of a topic, but it hasn't hit our office too much yet.
All right. We want to thank Emily Mason from the Ohio High School Athletic Association for joining us today to talk about girls field hockey. And we'll be back with more of Ohio Sports Magazine after this on the Ohio News Network.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and prevent storm damage. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
8,500 total athletes. 50 states represented, 1,500 volunteers on site, 18 foreign countries represented. No, we're not talking about the Olympics. It's the Air Force Marathon at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, with events that ran Thursday, September 19th through Saturday, September 21st. Jill Huffman is the Assistant Director of the Air Force Marathon, and she joins us on Ohio Sports Magazine. Jill, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
How many years has this event been running?
This was the 28th running of the Air Force Marathon.
And how did
it began in 1995?
That was my next question. How did the event get started?
The event began as a celebration of the Air Force Marathon's 50th birthday. So from there, someone decided, let's have a race and celebrate running a marathon. And then it just continued year after year, and it has grown from 50 runners to 8,000 runners.
Now, when you look at the pictures of the people that participated, there seem to be people of all age groups. What ages are represented? Who participated?
So for our 1K tailwind trot, we have little ones that start at age 3. And then all the way up through the marathon, I believe our oldest marathoner this year was 78. I could be wrong because last year it was 84.
But still, that's an advanced age to run a marathon, and it speaks to how well we're doing as a population. Now,
absolutely
exciting to be at Wright State University, of course, birthplace of aviation. This is the Air Force. Every year you guys highlight an aircraft. Which one did you highlight this year?
Wright State is one of our sponsors, and that is where the 5K is held. But the rest of the races are at the National Museum of the Air Force and on Wright-Patterson's Air Force Base. The featured aircraft this year was the F-35 Lightning II, and we had 2 planes come in from Hill Air Force Base out in Utah.
The Air Force says the F-35 is designed to provide the pilot with unsurpassed situational awareness, positive target identification, and precision strike in all weather conditions. Mission systems integration and outstanding over-the-nose visibility features are designed to dramatically enhance pilot performance. They provided this detailed description courtesy of Aviation Insider.
This is the world's most advanced fighter jet. The F-35 Lightning II. A distinguishing feature of the aircraft is its advanced $400,000 helmet that enables high level of situational awareness and long-range lethality. The aircraft is powered by the most powerful and most advanced jet engine. The engine is capable of producing 43,000 pounds of thrust, enabling the aircraft to be capable of taking off vertically and fly a maximum speed of Mach 1.6 and an altitude of 50,000 feet. The F-35 also featured high-quality radar-absorbent materials to reduce its radar signature. The aircraft also has reduced infrared and visual signatures, as well as strict controls of radio frequency emitters to prevent being detected and heat by enemy weapons. Speaking of weapons, the F-35 can carry 4 internal ordnance. It can also include external weapons packages, which can increase its full armament to 10. Other than that, the F-35 is equipped with advanced avionics to improve its capabilities.
So who do the proceeds benefit from this event?
So this marathon is not a nonprofit. It is not a for-profit. It is run by the government agency. So the proceeds actually just go to put on the event for the following year, along with our Space Force 10-miler that is in Florida. We have a bike series throughout the summer months called the Blue Streak Time Trials, and then we have a virtual race for history and heritage. So it keeps all of the other races going as well.
What are the plans for 2025?
Oh, I cannot tell you what plane we have coming up, but it's already been chosen. But we will reveal that in November when we do open our registration for the 2025 marathon.
So if folks want to get more information on this or any other events, because I know you guys have things coming up all over the country, where do they go?
They can go to our website, which is usafmarathon.com.
All right. So our thanks to Jill Huffman. She's the Assistant Director of the Air Force Marathon and the Air Force Marathon at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, a fantastic, successful event just over the last couple of days. And we will be back with more of Ohio Sports Magazine when we come back on the Ohio News Network.
Bishop and Friends.
Ohio Stadium is the best, period. You're there early. You're there at halftime. Even for the marginal games, you're there.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
At Kroger Pharmacy, CARE is making it easy to get vaccinated. CARE is helping you stay protected from flu, COVID, and RSV. Seasonal vaccines are available 7 days a week with evening hours. CARE is giving you a shot at staying healthy this season. Walk in whenever is best and get multiple vaccines in one visit at your local Kroger Pharmacy. So come and get the protection you need while protecting those around you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Visit Kroger.com/vaccines for more. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. Have we spent enough time telling homeowners how much the name Eco can actually mean?
Well, I did name the company that, so yes.
I mean explaining that Eco can stand for how much better we can make your plumbing, ecologically speaking.
Get Eco.
A tankless water heater, for example. Switching to tankless means your family has unlimited hot water. Shower after shower after shower, without having to use precious electricity to keep a big tank of water hot 24 hours a day. It's ecological.
Pretty good wordplay for a guy that almost failed English, don't you think?
Get Eco.
I think if more people knew they could help the planet just by taking a shower, I think we might be onto something.
That's not quite as ecological as the first thing you said, but okay.
You know, I'm working on inventing a new kind of junk mail that throws itself away.
And the planet thanks you, Jerry.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Your local Rite Aid might be closing, but don't worry. It's easy to transfer your prescriptions with GoodRx. First, check prices at GoodRx.com or on our app. Then show your coupon to the pharmacist. It's that simple. GoodRx can save you up to 80% on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, GoodRx is free and it works whether you have insurance or not. Download the app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Sunday will be a hot and sunny day once again with highs in the low 90s. Showers develop Sunday night with a low of 68. And then on Monday, showers continuing cooler but still warm with highs in the low 80s. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan. This is ONN.
We're in week 4 of the college football season. Ohio State had a rare bye in week 3, but was back in action hosting Marshall on September 21st. Ohio State will travel to East Lansing on Saturday, September 28th to battle Michigan State. That'll be a 7:30 p.m. kick and available only on the Peacock streaming service. That's due to the Big Ten's new media rights deal with NBC Universal. It's one of the many new things about this college football season that includes an 18-team Big Ten and Oklahoma and Texas as members of the Southeastern Conference. Going into week 4, the Sooners, 3 3-0 and ranked 15th in the country opened SEC play against 3-0 Tennessee. The Volunteers ranked 9th in the nation heading into Norman for that matchup. A homecoming of sorts for Tennessee's head coach Josh Heupel, who has found tremendous success in 3+ seasons in Knoxville. As a player, Heupel quarterbacked the 2000 Oklahoma Sooners to a national championship and was runner-up that year in Heisman Trophy voting. Paul Feinbaum covers college football at large for ESPN and joined Bo Bishop on ONN affiliate WBNS FM in Columbus earlier this week. Paul says he did not see Heupel having this sort of success at Tennessee.
Because he was hired in January after Jeremy Pruitt was fired amidst the NCAA allegations. He did not have great credentials. A lot of people thought it was a lazy hire, Bo, because Danny White had been at UCF, who had hired Scott Frost there, and then he brought in Heupel after Frost left, and it just looked like he couldn't get anybody else, so he brought the guy he had previously hired, and boy, were we wrong.
Yeah, and he returns to Norman this weekend, where obviously not a lot of love lost from the firing over a decade ago down there, and certainly one of the games to look forward to this weekend. In terms of how he has built Tennessee, and I think back to the beating of Alabama a couple of years ago, how much has NIL opened up Tennessee? Because it was kind of a dormant program for a while there, Paul.
Yeah, Tennessee went through about 15 years in the wilderness. They fired Phil Fulmer, who was a legendary coach, won a national championship, brought in, guess who? Lane Kiffin. He was turning the program around very quickly, and then he literally left in the middle of the night to replace Pete Carroll at Southern Cal, and the program has, they went through the following coaches: Derek Dooley, Butch Jones, and Jeremy Pruitt, all losers, and that's why Heupel, there was very little expected. A lot of big time coaches turned this program down, and it was really interesting to watch. And what's interesting about Heupel is another reason why his credentials weren't that great. Bob Stoops fired him 10 years ago. He had to fire somebody, and he wasn't going to fire his brother, Mike Stoops, of course. So he fired Heupel. He went to Missouri and somewhat resurrected himself, and then we know the rest.
Yeah, it sets up for what should be a really fun game in Norman this weekend as the Vols head there. You mentioned Kiffin. We played some sound earlier of, obviously, when Florida's in trouble, is there any way we could bring back Urban? Urban's not coaching in college football again. That's done. He's done with that. He's not dealing with NIL and everything else that comes with it. He's not dealing with the lack of control. But you mentioned Kiffin. Doesn't that seem like the logical landing spot for him at Florida? I know the two of you have shared some barbs, but the guy can recruit, and that seems like that would be a spot for him, no?
Yeah, and the Urban thing, I was on a podcast with Matt Berry. He threw it out. I tried not to laugh, and I said, what about Nick Saban and Urban Meyer? And somehow it went viral. But Kiffin is number one. I was in Gainesville last weekend, and the students were chanting behind our set, we want Lane, and he is number one. I think he wants it. It's just a matter of can he leave. And there's also another factor here in the new world that we live in. Napier is going to be fired, even though the athletic director 2 weeks ago 3 weeks ago tomorrow swore to me that he'd be there for a very long time. You know how that works. Yeah. And there's some interpretation here, but if he is like summarily fired, I'm told that the portal window opens, and that would be absolute chaos. So it's a matter of figuring that out. The reason why he probably wasn't fired last week is that once you get past the next game, I believe it's either this game or the next game, then the redshirt rule goes out of effect. So you can't just lose the players willy-nilly. So they've got a lot of figuring out to do. He'll be fired at some point. It really doesn't matter. The season has been lost. It was a disastrous hire. And after Lane, I don't know. I mean, Lane loves the courtship, as you know. He almost went to Auburn last year and backed out literally at the altar.
Yeah, and the other thing that would be tricky there is if this Ole Miss team and their schedule is comfortable, if they get to the playoff, then is he going to leave a playoff team in the middle of that to go coach Florida? Because they got to fill that job quickly. You mentioned the portal and that early signing period as well. I want to ask you about Arch at Texas. Obviously, you know the Manning family very well. What does Sark do if he plays great?
Well, I think the plan for Sark is to rest Quinn Ewers. This week it's just another directional school, and then next week is another directional school, Mississippi State. Who lost to Toledo, by the way. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah.
And then the bye week. So there's not a lot of reason to rush him back. And then you have Oklahoma and Georgia back-to-back. That therein lies the season. So I think the thinking is Ewers comes back and starts against Oklahoma. And unless he's terrible, Arch Manning remains on the sideline, in spite of what Vegas is saying about the Heisman balloting.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for TrueHold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time. Except for two things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest TrueHold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? TrueHold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's TrueHold.com.
It's back to school time. That means it's time to start saving with deals for school days at Giant Eagle and Market District. Get tons of discounts on all your favorite items so your students can be ready to take on the day. Don't miss out. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When it comes to being a Newman Roofing customer, you can trust they're always going to put your needs first. They're going to give you the white glove treatment so you feel confident you're making the best decision. So don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Heaven on earth. It's here in the mountain towns of West Virginia, draped in vibrant reds, yellows, and oranges. Some of America's most spectacular fall colors. The perfect backdrop to autumn adventure, from scenic train rides to fall festivals, and a cozy cabin waiting at the end of the day. Fall is almost heaven in West Virginia. Plan your getaway at wvtourism.com.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Football season is here, and you know what that means. Fall is just around the corner. Cooler temperatures on the way. If you've been dealing with drafty windows all summer, struggling on those crazy hot days, your AC just can't keep up, now is the perfect time to upgrade with Universal Windows Direct. Call them today, 614-502-5220. For every 2 windows you buy, you get 2 free. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply because they always do. Go to UWD.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, the people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
It's time to discuss Cincinnati Reds baseball and hear from Stephen Offenbaker of Locked On Reds with our Paul Keels.
We get a chance to talk with Steve Offenbaker from the Locked On Reds podcast. If you haven't checked it out, we encourage you to do so, especially if you're a Reds fan. And Steve, as we kind of go through this portion of the season, is patchwork maybe the best way to describe this Reds pitching rotation right now?
It might be the only way to describe this rotation. I never in a million years would I have thought this rotation would end up in the place that it is. You know, to go through a stretch in the season where every single starter from opening day was unavailable, either injured or traded, to have guys pressed into service that weren't quite ready, but patchwork is working. Some of these guys have come up and really delivered early on in their young major league careers.
And speaking of that, what do you make of Red Lauter from what you've seen from him, Steve?
I think Red Lauter is the real deal. Obviously, he was one of those guys that was pressed into service. He's a player that has tremendous upside, has a super high ceiling, but also has a very high floor. He was ready to pitch on day one, really. I spoke with him at the beginning of this season in Dayton. He was focused on what he needed to do, and you're seeing that on the field now. He knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly how his pitches play. And he's finding success because he's already polished. He already knows how to be a pitcher versus just being a guy that throws hard.
Nick Martinez, a guy that we've talked about before and how he's fit in different roles of this team. Is what we're seeing kind of validate the move to get him back during the offseason?
It does, and he might be the most valuable pitcher on this staff for the year. If you're going to give out a Pitcher of the Year award at the end of this season, Nick Martinez should probably be the guy that wins it. He's done everything that the Reds have asked him to do, and he's done it well. He's been good out of the bullpen. He's filled this role in the starting rotation, and I think the Reds are going to have to give some serious consideration to keeping him around next year.
Let's hope so. The fact that it appears that Hunter Green is going to come back and pitch some more before the season over, is that something we can take some solace in despite how the whole season looks like it's going to end up, Steve?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I'm glad. I think that Hunter needs it heading into the offseason. Get him back this year, get some success under his belt, let him have a normal offseason coming off of an ending that doesn't involve him just bumping his elbow and having to shut down the year. I'm concerned about bringing him back this late, but I think that what we know about Hunter is he's a gamer, he's a competitor, and he wants to be out there on the field. So I think getting him back on the mound, getting him a start or two under his belt before the season ends is going to help fuel his off-season program and make him ready to be the ace of this staff on day one next season.
Can that trickle down to other guys too, do you think, Steve?
I think it will. I think that what we're going to see is a pitching staff that they all tend to push each other. They all drive each other. And Hunter coming back and having that success is going to fuel other guys to work harder and try and get back and take that ace status away from him, right? They want to be the ace as well. So I think it's going to fuel everyone.
Okay, so we've gone A to Z on pitching. Let's go to position players. And can you begin to describe the value that Spencer Steer has meant to this team, not only just this year, but really ever since he was acquired from Minnesota?
He's something. I interviewed him when he was in the minor leagues, and he's another guy that knew exactly what he wanted to do and exactly who he was. Jeff, my podcast partner on Locked On Reds, calls him the mashed potatoes of this team. He's not overly excited, but you really need him there. You really need him there on the plate. And I think that's a great way to describe Spencer Steer. The fact that he's now got 20 home runs on the year, he's pushing right up against 100 RBIs. He's got 20 plus, I think 25 stolen bases. He really is kind of the blue collar guy that Cincinnati loves to love, if you know what I mean. The Chris Sabo types of players that this team loves to embrace. And I think having him on this team and having him in this lineup for years to come is very exciting.
I love that mashed potatoes type player reference. Have to see if we can get that in a football game. A question, Steve, that there's probably not really an answer for. What goes through your mind when you see the Reds playing well against teams that are either going to be or chasing the postseason and not as well against the teams that are kind of at the same level with them?
This is kind of a thing they've done for the last several years where they play at the level of their opponent, right? You go into a series that you feel like they should sweep the other guy, and they absolutely get dominated. And then you look at what they've done this year, winning record against the Dodgers, winning record against the Phillies, They have a winning record against the Braves on the road. So this team has demonstrated that it has the talent, that it's capable of being a playoff team, that it's capable of winning these big series against big-time teams with much larger payrolls. I think what it says is, I've been calling them saying the only thing that's consistent about the Reds is that they're inconsistent, and that's what they need to improve upon. That's what they need to change for next season. They need to be consistent at winning, and once they figure that out, they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, understand. Steve Offenbaker from the Locked On Reds podcast. As always, thanks for your time, Steve.
Appreciate it, Paul.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and prevent storm damage. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Bodie Wells to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. On the show this week, the guys discussed Amari Cooper's lackluster start to the 2024 season.
Remember when, me and Jason was both saying the same thing. When the trade first came up about the Ayuk thing. Yeah. And I kept saying, the rule is always you trade a guy a year early rather than a year too late. Yeah, sure. And everybody looked at me and Jason was like, y'all crazy. We want to keep Coop. Could it have been that they seen this coming? Maybe they thought he's not looking that good. Like maybe.
I mean, they did give him more money. They did give him
because more money. I don't think I don't understand why he would have an attitude with the organization. I mean, they literally gave him what they give him to guarantee the salary, gave him $20 million or something like that.
They gave him a little more money.
So he's getting the money. I know he wants the long term, but they still took care of you for this year.
Well, this is not helping his cause.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you need to perform if you want to play past this year.
To catch the full breakdown, just search for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and enjoy their daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine show here on the Ohio News Network.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the Fan. Very good. Now set a second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the Fan's HD3 and save the Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Your weekend freebie is free Kroger brand peanut butter. Simply clip your digital coupon and spend $50 or more Saturday or Sunday. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Your local Rite Aid might be closing, but don't worry. It's easy to transfer your prescriptions with GoodRx. First, check prices at GoodRx.com or on our app. Then show your coupon to the pharmacist. It's that simple. GoodRx can save you up to 80% on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, GoodRx is free, and it works whether you have insurance or not. Download the app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Hi, this is Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. As a local family-owned business, we understand the importance of celebrating the ones we love. Stop in to find the perfect gift or check us out online at worthingtonjewelers.com.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
At Sunny Street Cafe, we scoff at the notion that restaurants should only have one tagline.
'Cause we
have 7.
Like our number 4.
Sunny Street Cafe. Breakfast and lunch classics you would expect, and some tasty concoctions you wouldn't.
Now with 8 locations.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
That does it for this week's Ohio Sports Magazine. Big thanks to this week's guests, Amanda Blackford, Emily Mason, and Joe Huffman. Thanks to all of our Locked On podcast contributors this week as well. For Bodie Wells, Eric Reeser, and Paul Keels, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine. Join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.